It's up to you, New York, New York.
Good morning, good morning. Happy Thursday morning. It's the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. I am your host, Richie. I am also the co-host of Talk of New York. Riding solo today on this improv show. Must admit, had some trouble sleeping yesterday. And before I go to my less fun job, wanted to hit on a phenomenal, intense game one of the NBA Finals. New York Knickerbockers with the 10-point victory over the San Antonio Spurs. And a game that, once again, really tested the Knicks, where the Knicks really showed their resolve. This is a very resilient New York Knicks team. And shout out to head coach Mike Brown for always just keeping it 100, telling the truth about what was going on the Knicks bench during the beginning of the game and parts of the game. You know, it's no secret that the Knicks have had their, let's just say, bad fortune with Scott Forster. And yesterday, particularly the first half, I myself was beyond frustrated when I felt that the Knicks were getting the short hairs and just being overlooked on a lot of calls at the basket. Now, we know Victor Wembanyama is a phenomenal specimen where he could jump in, block a shot without really making contact, things of that nature. But I did see a moving screen that didn't get called. I saw earlier in the game Jalen Brunson taking it to the rack where his jersey was literally getting pulled off him and there was no call. And speaking of Brunson, I think I speak for all Knicks fans that we took a collective exhale when we found out that he was coming back into the game. Landry Shamet kind of pushed a spur and it hit Brunson dead on the knee. Brunson missed some time, comes back a little later. Luke Cornett lands right on Brunson's ankle. It was like a rite of passage for Jalen. Almost that the basketball gods were telling Jalen, yeah, you want this, huh? Well, there's this guy, Willis Reed, that went through a lot of hell, and tonight's going to be your baptism under fire on this final stage. And per usual, even on a night where he didn't shoot the ball well, Jalen Brunson never disappoints in crunch time. And that's why he may very well go down as the greatest New York Knick of all time when it's all said and done. And that's saying something when you consider Willis Reed, Walt Clyde Frazier, Patrick Ewing. Josh Hart, only 3 points, but what a phenomenal impact he made on the game with 15 big rebounds. Mikal Bridges played well. OG Anunoby, who was quiet early, made a statement three right in front of Victor Wembanyama. Deuce McBride, timely shooting. Jose Alvarado played well. The thing that really impressed me about this game is with Brunson's uncertainty of his availability when he got hurt, with the Knicks' depth at the point guard position, they never panicked. Karl Anthony Towns shooting the ball at a high percentage inside I believe he finished with 18 and 12, which was essentially my prediction for his stat line going in. I expected a little more offense out of Ananobi, but I hit on Karl Anthony Towns, my expectation for him. But the thing about this game that really impressed me was the defense that Karl Anthony Towns played on Victor Wembanyama. Just Victor got most of his points at the free throw line, but he was not able to get going offensively in terms of shooting the ball. And I said it on my short. I'll say it right here now. I believe the big difference why the Knicks win this game was a culmination of years of battles in these playoffs, ranging back to Brunson's first year with the team. They looked like the team that was not the underdog. They looked like the team with the experience. They looked like the team that's battle tested. And they look like the team that no matter what you throw at them and no matter how hard you hit them, they're just going to keep getting up. And that's been the story of the Knicks during these playoffs. It's been the story going back to round one in Atlanta, where they were down 2 games to 1 and then go on this improbable 12-game winning streak, now drawing within 3 victories of their first NBA title in 53 years, their third overall as a franchise if it comes to fruition. Knicks have already done their job as far as I'm concerned. You win game two, it's a bonus. But any Knick fan will be happy if you tell them you split the first two in San Antonio and take care of your business at home. And yes, I called it going into this series that the Knicks were going to split in San Antonio and they were going to win game one. But I'll be honest, I don't feel comfortable betting against these Knicks right now. I don't. Now, I know that San Antonio is going to go back to the drawing board and they're going to try to play their best game of their respective season tomorrow night. But I got to say, man, intensity, just pure intensity through and through. The kind of game where I just had a hard time sitting down. I was incredibly nervous. Landry Shamet, what a godsend he's been for this team. A guy that has played on 6 teams in 8 years, finding a home with the New York Knicks, and know that they're happy that they have him. This Knicks point guard depth is so deep, and when you consider the best player on the team is their point guard, it's unreal. And I think what makes me confident going into Game 2 and beyond is that the Knicks did not shoot the ball well compared to what they were doing in Cleveland, what they were doing against the Sixers, etc. But I've been a Knicks fan since '92, and I must admit I have never seen a Knicks team this locked in when the stakes were this high. And whether you're a Knicks fan or not, I don't know what the country's perception is. I noticed that through my social media pages, through my posts, it seems like there's a lot of support around the country for the Knicks, a lot of admiration for this particular team. But I must say, man, I feel like the Knicks are gaining a lot of respect with NBA fans countrywide with the style and brand of basketball they play. And Jalen's dad, Rick Brunson, putting Mike Brown in timeout, so to speak, when he was complaining about the officiating, as was the entire team, and with good reason. But, Rick, being a former player in the league, making his rounds, basically said, shut the hell up, quiet, leave the refs alone, let's play our game. And Charles Barkley made a great point at halftime saying how the Knicks needed to slow it down. They needed to be the team that imposed their will. And that's exactly what happened in the second half. And it was frustrating because early on, for the Knicks to only get 3 free throw attempts in the first half, it was very tilted, so to speak, the way that they were officiating. But great teams battle through adversity, and great teams find ways to win when the chips are stacked against them. And that is 100% what my New York Knicks did yesterday. I am very, very proud of them. All right, I am back. My apologies. This pollen is kicking my ass, and I needed to sneeze, so I killed that mic for a second. But yeah, just so very proud of the Knicks. Got my final shirt. I intended on washing it if they lost. It's just going to have to be Febrezed and preserved because that thing will not get washed while the NBA Finals are going down. Shouts out to my good friend Jose R. a picture that I will be revealing, a meme that is quite comical and just cool. But I believe in superstitions and things of that nature, so I will not be showing this meme here on the show until the series is over and until the Knicks are the world champions. But great job, gentlemen. You have one very proud Knick fan right here. And it's been a hell of a ride and just a hell of a journey and just a lot of excitement seeing these Knicks do what they've been doing. And I am happy. All right, we're going to hit on the recent struggles of the New York Yankees. Captain Aaron Judge, I'm hoping, avoids an IL stint, but yet again coming up short at home to the Cleveland Guardians, a team that is starting to emerge as a legitimate potential contender in the American League. As the Rays are also struggling right now, so the Yankees are not cashing in on the Rays slumping. And today it's going to be Carlos Rodon on the bump. This team misses Aaron Judge. I mean, who wouldn't miss Aaron Judge? I do think the Yankees curb their losing streak today, but it's disappointing right now. It seems like every time the Yankees are making some traction, they get hit with a weird curveball, no pun intended. But the Yankees just have to weather the storm right now. You know, you're missing your power hitting DH. We don't know the significance of this Judge injury and if he's going to have to be relegated to being a DH. So the Yankees just have to weather the storm. You know, it's a long season, but not happy. Not happy with just the way that the Yankees have been matching up right now with a pretty good Guardians team, a team that they're very familiar with. Before I get out of here, wanted to hit on Odell Beckham Jr. I gotta say, it's a breath of fresh air, and it's kind of refreshing when you see a player who was so controversial, who was kind of known for talking too much, who was kind of known for being a prima donna, as many wide receivers are known to be, talking about how he has to earn it to make this Giants roster, and that being signed is not a guarantee that he'll be on the team in week one. What he does have in his favor, Malik Neighbors, far from a sure thing to be ready for the first game of the season, Sunday Night Football, home against Dallas. This is a rather crowded receiving room. You've got the rookie, Malachi Fields, who's pretty much a shoe-in to make the roster. Darius Slayton coming off the sports hernia. It looks like he'll be ready for week one. That's two guys right there. You have Calvin Austin III. You have Braxton Berrios. One would believe that one of those guys are probably going to be your kick returner. You have Darnell Mooney, who is projected to be the number two opposite of Malik Neighbors when everyone's healthy. I think I just named five guys right there. You still have Jalen Hyatt, who refuses to give up number 13. That could still end up in Odell's possession if Hyatt is to get released, which I think ultimately will play out that way. You also have former Super Bowl winning wide receiver Juju Smith Schuster suddenly on this roster. And you still have Bo Collins. And I know I'm missing a couple of guys. But I believe that when it's all said and done, the Giants are going to carry seven wide receivers going into the season, particularly if Neighbors is not one of them. I like OBJ's chances to make this roster. I think OBJ is actually going to be an asset with a defined role on this team. And while I don't think that the game script is going to indicate him to be a big contributor on a consistent week to week basis, I think he's going to have some moments on this team. And I don't think that Coach John Harbaugh brought him in to be released. Now, you know, it's not up to John Harbaugh how well Odell performs. He gives you an opportunity, he has a liking to you as a player, and we'll see how it plays out. But most definitely a great opportunity for Odell and a chance to make things right given his past with this organization. I got to say, man, just a lot of nervous energy. It was hard for me to just go to sleep after watching that Knicks game. That game was phenomenal, just phenomenal. The energy that that team, that whole setting, and something I noticed on the pregame intros, the Spurs tried to play out the Knicks coming in, so I thought that was kind of comical as well. Final thought before I get out of here: I know that this country is in a very how would you say, tumultuous political situation, regardless of what side of the fence you lie on, which I want to make clear is your right. And I've never allowed politics, one way or the other, to influence my friendships, to influence my ability to listen to others, to listen to, outside negative noise, whether it's connecting Hollywood or athletes or anybody that is famous, so to speak. Now, I know that this Jackson Dart situation coming into the season ruffled a lot of feathers in the wrong way. And while I do understand a decent chunk of it, one thing that I do want to say is, as fans, I'm going to just put this as fans, because it's a large proportion of football fans that are bothered by this, New York Giant fans that are bothered by this. I think we've really fallen as a society when more people are worried about Jackson Dart introducing a sitting president than they are of Josh Jacobs, running back for the Green Bay Packers, being hit with a domestic violence charge. But this is the same NFL that only gave Ray Rice 2 games after a video surfaced of him knocking out his wife. And that's a problem. At least I think it is. But, I wasn't kidding when I talked about selective outrage, and this is one of those things where I stand tall on that. And if I lose a follower or two or a subscriber or two, I know the risk if I'm voicing an opinion that might not be the same as others. I've seen people get ridiculed just for having different opinions. And this has absolutely nothing to do where I lie politically, because one thing that I will say time and time again is that whole house, talking about the White House, and all those that work underneath the big umbrella, has been a massive disappointment to the American people, whether on the left or on the right. And I want to make that clear as well. I hope all of you have a great day. Hopefully the Yankees could get out of their way and bring this losing streak to a close. The Knicks have already done their job, but I want more. Let's go get game 2. And I'll be monitoring and paying a lot of attention to Giants-related news as the ever-polarizing figure, Odell Beckham Jr., is a New York Giant yet again, wearing number 3, which is his other number. He wore 13 with Cleveland and with the Giants, 3 elsewhere. 3 was his college number at LSU. But an exciting time in sports, and we're going to see how all of this plays out. Have a great day, everyone.
Big Knick energy, we ain't playing nice. Kings of New York, ain't no rolling dice. Flexing on these bitches, we the real deal. Ain't no stopping us, this is how we feel. The Bronx, Manhattan, Brooklyn, the island of Queens, we ballin' hard. Fulfilling all our dreams, thugging through the hustle. Got that grit and grind in this Big Knick energy, we forever shine. So let them know we rockin'. From the garden to the booth, Knicks in the building, bringing straight up truth. With our heads held high,